Hello and welcome to Cognitions, Speaking the Unspeakable with JP
and Stacy D.
I am JP Craddock and I am here with the one and only Stacy D Love.
We're back.
We've been gone for a while. This is our first show since prior to the holidays. We were off for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, so it's good to be back. It's good to see you.
Oh my God, it's nice seeing you too, JP.
We are wonderfully happy to be back here in the station. Coming up on the show today, we have mental health and illness in the news, followed by our question of the day. The question of the day today is, can I cure myself of OCD? And if so, how? So we have that coming up on the show later, but before we get to that, let's do our check-in. How is the D?
Boy, the D is coming back full of force. I mean, I had surgery, COVID scare, bad hair day, but we just put a hat on it. But
looks good.
Just life in general, life in general just really just beats you up. Dealing with girlfriends, having problems with the boyfriends because they didn't get the right Christmas present. I mean, I tell you, not getting the right Christmas present will break up a relationship.
I don't understand that. Why is that?
Because I guess some people just look at anniversary, birthday, Valentine, and Christmas, that they only get 4 presents a year. Now, King and I, we don't even exchange Christmas presents. Okay. We don't exchange birthday presents. We don't do anniversaries. Valentine, he gets me flowers, which I tell him don't do that. My daughter's like, Mama, let him get your flowers to you while you're still alive so you can really enjoy them. But it's nothing for him to be out at Halls or Nordstrom's and he's at the fragrance counter and he smells something. He was like, that's what I want my wife to smell. And he'll just pick it up, or he'll just go pick up me a pair of Uggs or that mink stole that he got me. It wasn't no particular reason. It was just that you just buy me because this is what you want me to have. And how we do it is that I want him to give me his love, his honor, his respect, and his trust, and his integrity. Those are my presents on those holidays.
I like it that what you're describing to me is the true spirit of giving gifts. Yes. When you see something and you think about your loved one and you buy it.
And you just buy it.
And so I don't understand when people are upset that they got the wrong gift, because is there really a such thing as the wrong gift? Because if the person saw it and they thought about you, how is that the wrong gift? Now, if someone was expecting an engagement ring for Christmas,
I think a lot of women be expecting an engagement ring.
I
got engaged on my birthday.
Okay.
Both times.
Oh wow, that's a good birthday gift.
That's a good birthday gift. But I had handed it around to it. You know what I'm talking about?
Because you didn't want him to screw that up.
I didn't want him to screw it up. So I prepared. I laid the groundwork.
So these women did not lay the groundwork.
They didn't lay the groundwork.
That's the problem.
And they also doing wifely duties with a boyfriend title.
But if they are trying to become that wife and they were wanting that engagement ring, which
and they didn't get the engagement ring.
Right, well, and you're saying it's because they're already given the benefits of being a wife. So why put a ring on it?
Why put a ring on it? I'm already getting everything.
Okay. So, D, what are some of the mistakes that women make? Let's get into this real quick. We could do a whole question of the day on this
story.
But this is kind of juicy. Those women, what are they doing wrong that caused them to prevent themselves from ending up engaged? What wifely things are they doing that they probably should not have been doing?
Okay, now everybody's going to say I'm so old-fashioned, but I do not believe in moving in with a man if we're not engaged. I'm not going to move in with you.
So quit shacking up.
quit shacking up. I mean, I'm not going to move in with you. I'm not going to pay half of this, half of that. You stay in your house, I stay in my house. If I'm not worthy of you to be like, I want you as my wife. Here go the ring. You got a little time to set a date and do that. Hell, I was engaged for 10 years one time.
Okay.
He was in his house and I was in my house.
And he still was in his own house.
And he was still in his own house because I didn't have no intentions on marrying him.
And so once he got tired of being in his house and you being in your house, and he realized,
Stacy is not going to marry me.
I need my woman with me under this roof. I need to marry.
The engagement was broke off and I went and married someone else.
Oh, so
I never did marry him. The one I was engaged for 10 years.
Wow.
I never did marry him.
Why not? What happened?
I just really didn't.
Because it took him 10 years.
No, he asked me to marry him in 6 months. And I took the ring. It was a nice ring. Now, they know
so
they got to come
you were the one
right.
holding it up.
Yeah.
It was your fault that it took 10 years.
Yeah, it was my fault. He always asked me, when's the date? When's the date? I'm like, it's coming. I'm just trying to figure it out, trying to do some things.
So you had this man wait 10 years thinking he was going to one day share a household with you, and he never got that.
Mm-mm.
Ooh, D. Oh! You know that's wrong. You know that's not right.
Well,
okay, but I hear what you're saying. So to our female listeners out there, and I'm sure many of you have heard this before, what Stacy's saying is, if you're shacking, you are basically giving your man a wife, even though you're not a wife. So don't be surprised when he doesn't wife you up, because he already has all the perks and the benefits of having you as a wife.
Exactly. And then also, because even when you guys are not together, here go another big thing. How about if your boyfriend calls and say, hey, babe, what's for dinner? You cooking dinner tonight? No, but I can make us some reservations somewhere.
Okay, I'm confused.
Once again,
is the mistake not cooking, or what's the mistake?
The mistake is him asking me when am I cooking him for dinner, and I might be wrong. You guys don't. This is only Stacy. This is only Stacy D's way. This is only Stacy D's way.
This is just the D.
This is just the D. Don't call me and ask me what are we eating for dinner, and you haven't bought any food.
Oh.
Okay. What are we? And you live in your house, and I live in my house, and you ask me what are we eating for dinner today? I'm like, I don't know, but I can make us some reservations somewhere. I make great reservations.
Okay.
Now, if he was to be like on a Saturday, hey, babe, let's go to the grocery store because I want you to make me something. Oh, okay, cool. And I might even pay half, 50-50 of it and buy half of it. You know, we at the grocery store because he might come over to my house and there might be some things that he want to eat at my house or something like that. But yeah, I'm just real big on that. I'm not going to give you my wifely duties because I feel as though that my wifely duties are really, really good. They used to be bad, but they're really, really good.
Okay, so the D has given a couple of tips to the ladies out there who are trying to get that engagement ring. I still don't think that it's considered the wrong gift that they didn't get what they wanted if he still put his heart into what he chose. They just didn't get what they wanted. They probably shouldn't come across like this is the wrong gift, because that actually is going to move you even further away from the engagement ring. Because a lot of men be like, hold up, what?
Now you ain't, instead of you getting that engagement ring, you might got a nice pendant or a nice pair of earrings. And the man might not be ready for that.
Or he might not have thought about, oh, it's Christmas, let me do it for Christmas. What if he's waiting for Valentine's Day?
A lot of people get engaged on Valentine's Day.
But she done screwed it up by having a turned up face on Christmas, because it's like, earrings, where's my ring?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, on my birthday, I said, the best birthday for my birthday present would be for me to get my engagement ring.
Well, that does make it real clear.
That makes it a whole lot easier. A whole lot easier. But I also said in my relationships that I don't want presents. I mean, I don't like those 3 to 4 days. I don't want presents because you can give me a present anytime. Mm-hmm. I actually will give them a list of things that I want, but it doesn't have to be presents because I really have a problem with people buying me bad presents. I really truly do.
Oh my God,
I'm saying, okay, they
with
my
the wrong
friends.
gift. What a bad present.
Okay, Juro, what do you give me as a present? An Amazon gift card. Cannot go wrong with an Amazon gift card.
I bought some AKA gear too.
And some AKA.
Ski Fi, yeah. Because you really can't go wrong with
You
that.
can't go wrong with those things. But when I have people, gift cards are always good too. I'm not even gonna put nobody bad out there, but
you almost did.
I almost did.
You paused.
I almost did.
Somebody almost
you,
had
Jesus.
their business on the
Yeah,
street.
and somebody be mad because my friends, they are loyal friends.
Don't do it.
Some of them watch me, yeah.
Don't
but
do
just
it. Don't do it.
Just give me a gift card. I mean, literally, just give me a gift card. You can give me a gift card out to eat. Everybody knows I love going to Olive Garden. Their lunch, I love their soup and salad. I don't mess with deposits, and I got to keep it right and tight.
Right and tight.
Right and tight.
I agree that gift cards are
best.
always the safest option.
It is.
Now, some people don't think there's as much thought put into it, but considering that you can get a gift card for anything, I think that is a lot of thought. And everybody shops on Amazon. I'm glad you mentioned the Amazon gift card or those, like the little debit Visa gift cards or whatever.
But get the one that do not have fees. Pay the extra money and get the ones that do not have fees.
Right. But Amazon, you really can't go wrong with an Amazon gift card. So, okay.
Those are good gifts. I think those are very good gifts. And then everybody, let me tell you something, because I'm a real good gifter. I don't like giving gifts. I like doing like 4 to 8 gifts a year, and that's my 4 grandchildren and my 8 children and my gifted. I got 5 gifted grandchildren and 4 gifted children. That's enough for me. That's almost 20 presents right then and there. Well, yes. Because I'm going to have to get the baby something. And I don't really want to give my friends nothing. I mean, like, what we'll do is, like, birthdays. I got you on your birthday.
Or friends, I think it's as you get older, you realize the time is really more valuable. Because as you get older and you're busy and you working and doing this and doing that, you making so many things happen. To me, the best gift is finding time to go to dinner with your friends or go and hang out at somebody's crib.
Yes, those used to be the best.
We be eating.
We better spend the night. I better took a nap.
She gets drunk off a cheesecake that the liquor's cooked out of it, but that's a good time.
We have such a good time. I mean, just sitting up, kicking it with friends. I love it. And not at the club. I mean, I rather, like you said, I'd rather go to dinner because Lord knows we used to kick it already. The Thick concert tickets contest.
The D dropping like was hot.
Second because it was a professional stripper. But listeners, I did do the doggone cartwheel and bounced it back up out the splits. I did do that. But she was bad because she was a professional stripper. But that was the good old days. I mean, we did the whole club thing. Oh, God,
that really was the good old days. But D, we are so far off the subject.
Because we
went to more than one drop it like it's hot contest.
Because I was at all levels.
You are stuck on the one that you didn't win because the professional stripper was in the contest.
I won like all the other ones. Because I could drop it. I mean,
no, seriously, she would drop it like it was hot.
I even knew what twerking was.
They named twerking because of you.
Exactly. The D twerk. The D twerk. Oh my God,
this is so funny. But yeah, I think that if you are struggling to come up with a gift card is a good idea. But if you can actually make time for your friends, that is a wonderful gift. And something else that I have thought about as you get older, our time is literally more valuable.
Oh, it is.
Not just because you're busy. Well, a lot of it is because you're busy, but literally as your income increases over the years, your time is a very precious, limited, and valuable thing.
And that means like when your friends are late, that's so disrespectful.
I don't know who she talking about because I don't know. I have done a lot better.
You guys, I'm really going to
Why is everybody on me?
Because for so many years, you was just so late. But you have been.
What time I show up at this station today? Mr. Walker.
I got here before you did, though. But it was like at
But your lights were still on. So you
I was in the
just
car
pulled
talking.
in.
I was in the car talking.
Okay.
My lights never go off.
I was at least 20 minutes early for the show and drove at least 15 miles over the speed limit to get here.
Because you guys, I be on him.
Because I be on him.
Because we have to do sound check and
I try really hard. Well,
and he did a great job today.
Our audience knows that we have had a million technical difficulties.
I know.
I really need to get here as early.
Exactly.
I was in black and white before we started this show today. I'm in color
and the sweater
now.
is just white, you guys. The sweater is just white. But we are in live driving 5 color.
Okay. Here's my.
What else I want to talk about?
What?
New Year's resolutions.
I don't like New Year's, even though I'm in the middle of a weight challenge with my frat brothers, but I'm not calling it a New Year's resolution.
Good.
I don't believe in New Year's resolutions.
I know, because you just want to break them. I have actually did
Want to
mine.
break them?
Want to break them. I have actually thought about just giving mine because everybody know I'm just so over the top. I've actually gave mine a whole name.
The resolution?
Yeah.
What is it? What?
On and popping. That's my whole. That's basically my New Year's resolution for the whole year.
On and popping
to be
all year?
on and popping all year.
Ain't you always typically on and popping?
But I'm taking it to the next level.
Oh, the next level.
Yeah,
Okay.
on and popping next level, basically.
What?
Like
that
I'm
gonna
right
look
here,
like?
and I'm about to go up to here.
You might get arrested because I'm wondering what that's gonna look like.
No, because I
your
did-
next level is
I
it
know.
even legal?
But I did goals like I really did goals for my health wise. I did goals for I literally did goals, and it's like on and popping. Nothing gonna stop me from doing it. If I just got to stop and get regrounded about it
Right.
and redo it. So I mean, I have the goals, but the whole thing for the whole year is on and popping on the next level. On and popping next level.
Popping.
With business, my health, relationships.
That's a year's worth of work.
It is.
Yeah, what you're
It is.
describing would take a year. Well,
Excuse me, Mr. Walker, we're on the air. You know they can hear you. You know here
why
we
is
go
Mr. Walker?
again.
Why is Mr. Walker?
On and popping.
What is he doing?
He's on the phone.
Why is he doing that right now?
Okay, y'all. On
And
and
you
popping.
shaking this camera, D.
On and popping. A radio station. Mr. Walker is gonna do better on his phone, or I'm gonna check him every time.
Okay, listen. New Year's resolutions. I want to talk about this weight challenge to encourage everyone to be healthy. But like I said, this is not a New Year's resolution because I don't like that.
Because he breaks them.
It would get broken. Mm-hmm. What we are doing is everybody set their individual goal and we put $20 into the pot every month. But every week, if you don't meet your weekly goal, that costs you. It could end up costing $100 a month screwing this up.
Oh, wow.
Which is a good incentive.
They're doing the money as in a motivation.
Yes.
Okay.
And
good.
that is working out pretty well because I always gain weight around the holidays. And Thanksgiving, Christmas, these are major food consumption days for me. I believe in the consumption of sweets on these holidays.
More than Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah. Love Tootsie Rolls. You know I love Tootsie Rolls and bananas. Okay, so remember I went on that Tootsie Roll banana diet years ago?
I remember. Yeah, but this is when he was like 150 pounds. He used to go to 24-hour fitness. Okay, 24-hour fitness, y'all owe us some money. We would go to the club. He would leave the club and go to 24-hour fitness because he got to work out all the liquor that he have consumed that night.
In the middle of the night. And I was
This
on
is 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, you guys. This is how we used to kick it.
I did that Tootsie Roll banana diet. I lost a lot of weight on that Tootsie Roll banana
Tootsie
diet.
Roll banana diet. Please, at home, please don't do that. It's not good for
I
you.
do not listen. I do not. I do not recommend. I do not
No.
encourage people to do a Tootsie Roll banana
Tootsie
diet.
Roll and banana
I
diet.
do recommend trying Tootsie Rolls and bananas because bananas go great with Tootsie Rolls. Don't try to live off of it and lose a bunch of weight though. Although
he did.
it worked. It did
It
work.
did work.
Okay, so here's my check-in. The holidays went great, lots of good food, but I learned something about a family member who does not know that I know. And he don't watch the show, so he's not gonna find out.
Oh, he's a bad family member then.
That means most of my family members are bad because they don't watch the show. But it makes it easy for me to talk about
about him.
And
Don't talk about your sister.
No, I can't talk about her. 'Cause
Hey,
she watches
Steph,
the
love you.
show. She watches the show. But I found out that a family member has OCD, and
Might run in the family.
I somehow never noticed the symptoms. He has to do everything in even numbers.
Even numbers.
Everything has to be twice, and even if he calls someone, he will call them back and hang up because he has to call twice. I never even noticed. Well, I don't really answer the phone.
When he calls.
I'm just not good with answering the phone.
Yeah, we know.
I didn't notice D.
That's all right. I just call Sasha's phone when she get her phone next year. No big
My
deal.
baby will answer her phone.
She don't answer the phone.
Cause she been grabbing my phone and pretending she's TT. I'm like, you're not talking to your TT right now. And so that is what led to our question of the day: is for this family member to have OCD all these years.
And the super therapist didn't catch it.
I didn't catch it. It's pretty mild and subtle. But the fact that he didn't even ask me how to get over the OCD to help with it. So we're going to cover, that's why we're covering OCD today. We're probably going to have to do this in two parts.
Okay.
Another reason why I wanted us to cover it is because I think a lot of people have a little bit of OCD.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Everyone has a little bit of it.
I'm borderline OCD.
For real.
With those of you listening on the radio, you can't see anything anyway. But those of you who are watching us on YouTube or Facebook or, whatever you're watching us on, you probably can't see. I don't even have fingerprints anymore. I don't have fingerprints.
Why? Because you don't wash?
Because I have washed my hands so much and they're tore up to the point I don't have fingerprints. I can't open my phone with my fingerprints anymore. And so I always have had a bit of a struggle with the hand washing thing, and the pandemic kicked it to a whole other level, and I don't have fingerprints anymore. So I was like, I do not have this diagnosis, but I'm borderline for OCD, and so this is going to be an interesting topic. You got a little bit of it too, don't you, D?
Just a little bit.
What's yours?
I'm not going to tell you.
It's hand washing.
Heck
What
no.
is it? D, you can't say. Is it funny? Is it at least funny? D, tell us. Listeners, you guys need to.
Everyone has a little bit of it, though.
Everybody does have.
Everybody has a little bit.
A little bit of it. And so when it comes to diagnoses, a person isn't given a diagnosis unless it is a level of severity where it negatively impacts their functioning or the functioning of those around them. So the family member who spilled the beans on the other family member is because they have been driving her crazy with their OCD.
Wow.
Everything having to be
twice. Even numbers.
And I'm surprised I never noticed it, because what was pointed out is you haven't noticed that, like, if he like touches something, he'll do it twice, and everything is. Who would notice that?
Do he say things twice too?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Sometimes he will say something. He'll say things twice, or like everything is in even numbers. And if someone else throws it off and does it a third time, then he has to
Do it
kick it
another
up to
time.
the fourth time. So this is going to be an interesting
It really
topic
is.
for us to talk about. But the holidays went well. Had a wonderful time with family in Tennessee and here in Kansas City. Like it was a good holiday.
It's a good holiday. I love the holidays.
Okay.
Even though I had to cancel Christmas, we had a COVID scare,
Oh, cancel Christmas. You know,
and those numbers are high too.
well, yeah, Omicron. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But that brings me to mental health and illness in the news.
We're going to start having like a little drum roll, like mental health and illness and rules.
Yes, that D.
Everything is fine.
Okay, since you mentioned COVID, I stand corrected on something. And so I believe in admitting when I'm wrong about something. And I said it on the air, so I need to fix it. I was incorrect in making the statement that it is a waste of time to try to convince a non-vaxxer, a person who doesn't believe in the vaccine, to get vaccinated, because people who do not believe in the vaccine are ride or die, and they'll take it to the grave. They would rather die than get the vaccine.
My
and
husband, he's such against it.
Well, I was incorrect on this. Apparently, they've been doing research.
Really?
They have done research.
Remember, they are in control of the numbers, though, people.
D.
Sorry.
Appropriately done research. If it's done correctly, it's going to be accurate. It's going to be accurate. And this was research that was published in JAMA Network Open. Okay. But basically, what I was mistaken about is saying that people do not change their mind about getting vaccinated. According to this new study, they followed 3,439 subjects. 70% of them later reported that they were willing to get the vaccine. 37% had already gotten it. Okay, so 70% changed their mind and said, I'm willing to do it. And then 37% had already gotten it. Now, here's what was interesting. Those over 65 made up 73% of people who changed their mind. So wisdom with age.
That's
I guess
good.
that kind of makes sense. And if you're 65 and you're not vaccinated and you do not want to meet Jesus soon, you probably should change your mind about that.
Yeah, because I literally have like buried 3 classmates in the last 45 days.
And I am going to a funeral Saturday for a wonderful, incredible, just an incredible woman who has passed away from COVID. Okay, so for those over 65, 73% of those who changed their mind, okay, non-Hispanic Asians, 65%. Okay, those with graduate degrees, 50%, were the most likely to have changed their minds, which I thought that was interesting because apparently those with associate's degrees and bachelor's degrees are real stubborn and do not change their mind. I don't know what it is about graduate level education that they were more likely to change their mind. Maybe it's because they're closer to 65. Okay, but
Thinking about them student loans.
maybe that's it. But the CDC has reported that COVID has led to a 2-year drop in life expectancy.
Wow.
Going from, because prior to the pandemic, the life expectancy was 78.8 years of age, and now it is 77 years of age. So COVID will shave 1.8 years off of your life.
Wow.
And it was the 3rd leading cause of death last year, followed by heart disease and cancer. Those are reasons to change your mind. But I'm kind of happy that I was mistaken, that people do not change their mind about this.
That's good.
It's just the people I know.
I changed my mind. Remember, I changed my mind.
Yeah, that's true. You did.
I did change my mind.
But our other friend
With
who
help
has
with
had
doctor.
COVID twice will not. She has not changed her mind. She's not vaccinated.
Give me a hint.
And so the next time we go over to her house, she's not
Really?
vaccinated.
And she works in the community like that?
and she's had COVID twice.
She had COVID twice?
Fortunately, she does not watch the show
Jesus.
because we talking about her right now. Yeah, she twice.
Twice?
And she lost her sense of smell the first time she got it about 2 years ago, and it
When
has not
people didn't even
returned.
know what it was. See, that's it. 2 years ago, people didn't even know what it was.
Right around the time that they were calling it COVID, she can smell really strong, pungent odors, but aside from that, she can't. And so my thoughts were, okay, you've had COVID before, and you never truly fully got your sense of smell back, and you have COVID again, and you still are anti-vaccine. And she does a lot. She does a lot of exposure. Like, she ain't sitting up in the crib doing telehealth like me. She's
out in the
everywhere.
community. Yes.
Yeah. And so I have never had a conversation with her about her being anti-vaxxer because I was mistakenly under the impression that people do not change their mind about this. Mm-hmm. Now that I'm hearing that people do, I think you probably need to have this conversation with her.
Oh, I am.
Okay, great. Let me know how it goes.
I will.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought she was vaccinated.
She's not. All right. Are we ready for the question of the day? This is a good one because OCD
really
is just okay. Now, typically, when we cover diagnosis on the show, I tell you all that, go to our Facebook page and print off the diagnostic tracking form and yada, yada, yada. We don't have to do all that for OCD. OCD is most people can diagnose themselves with OCD. Every person that I have treated for OCD, they came in knowing they had it.
Knowing they already had it.
It's not a complicated diagnosis. So that's the good news. You all do not have to go and print off that diagnostic tracking form. I'm going to be able to quickly and easily explain this diagnosis. OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder. The obsessions are thoughts, cognitions, because, y'all watching Cognitions, speaking the unspeakable. The obsessions are the thoughts, the disturbing, persistent thoughts telling you to do something, to do some behavior, and the compulsions is the behavior. So if you have and I'm using myself as an example since I'm borderline with this, for me, the obsessive thoughts would be wash your hands, and the specific thoughts around germs and not just COVID, but just general cooties, okay? And, like going to the gym, men are notorious for taking a crap, and they'll walk up to the sink, but it's just to flip their hair, because crap make your hair stay in place.
Okay, wait a minute.
Okay, I'm just kidding. For those of you, actually, I'm not gonna apologize to the people who do this. Okay, but I probably shouldn't say you're using crap to keep your hair in place. Okay, but that's what they do at the gym. They come out of the stall, the whole area's funked up, and they'll do this and walk past the sinks while I am washing my fingerprints off, literally. And they look, it's as if they don't see water and soap. And those types of interactions, because then they go out, they handling barbells and
doing everything. All of them. But that's when I go to the gym, I wipe off before I get on and after. And after.
And for me, now that I have been going back to the gym, I only use my one cardio machine, the elliptical, and I leave. I'm not lifting up, using a bunch of barbells, going from here. I'm not using all that equipment in the gym. I'm doing like you. I wipe off my machine really well, spray. I'm spraying it so much I could get electrocuted.
I got the bottle in my hand. Put it down.
Yeah. Well, in the gym they have the bottle, spray, and then use that machine and then leave. But back to the OCD.
I can't do the elliptical. You the truth.
It's intense.
I can't do it.
But
I probably got 10 seconds on it.
It's the fastest way to burn fat. It's because it's full body. It's your arms are moving, your feet are moving, and Like you just got a lot going on. Okay, so OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. The obsessions are the thoughts telling you to do something, to do everything in even numbers, to wash your hands,
or in odd numbers. It all depends on what they're telling you to do.
Exactly. And then the compulsion, you engage in the compulsive behavior to alleviate the stress from the thoughts, because the thoughts are very stressful. And the only way to ease that anxiety is to give into it, give into the thoughts, and go ahead and wash your hands or do things in even numbers, or don't step on cracks, or whatever it is that people are doing. Okay, so that's just an explanation of OCD, the intrusive, persistent thoughts. Now, here's what we're going to do today. For those of you who, like my family member, clearly refuse to go to therapy and refuse to ask any of the 3 therapists in the family, like, okay, I've been doing things in twos for 50 something years. Can you give me a hint what I might need to do to get out of it? And so we're going to cover, I'm not saying you can cure yourself of OCD. What I am saying is that if you have a mild case, I'm going to tell you how you can drastically reduce the symptoms of this diagnosis and possibly eliminate it. I'm not talking about people with severe OCD. I'm not talking about the people who live 15 minutes from work, but they have to leave the house 3 hours early because every block they have to stop and get out of the car and look under the car, because every time they hit a bump, they think they have ran over a human. And they're constantly checking under the car, freaked out that they have killed someone. I'm not talking about you all. Okay, you all need clinical intervention. Like, you need to go ahead and go to therapy. This is for like just your hand washers and your people who's doing things in
hand washing. The people like going to work 2 hours early because they have a whole ritual what they have to do before they can even start work. That was my mother. She had to be at work at 6 o'clock. She was a DON, but she literally got there at 4 o'clock.
Wow. And see, that might be considered disrupting a normal flow of a day, because you get to work 2 hours early.
2 hours early.
Yeah. And that's what makes it diagnosable, is if it is negatively affecting your functioning, your flow through life, or negatively affecting.
But if they think there's nothing wrong, then that's even more of a problem, because she didn't think anything was wrong when I pointed out to her.
That means it wasn't, she wasn't having negative effects. She was okay with it.
I had the effect with it.
Then it was a problem.
Exactly, it was a problem.
Yeah.
Because she would go into bed like at 7 o'clock. And I need to call you and talk to you about something, but you're asleep. And turn the phone off.
7 o'clock?
7 o'clock in the evening, she would be at work at 4, which means she was waking up at 2:30.
Oh my! I'm not even in the bed at 2:30.
Neither one of us are.
We would have been past it.
Neither three of us.
We would have been past like, Mama, what you doing? What you doing up?
Gotta be all quiet. Had to be all quiet in the house and everything. I mean, yes, it did disrupt a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that would have been diagnosable. The treatment for OCD, because OCD is one of the anxiety disorders. The treatment for anxiety disorders is cognitive behavioral therapy. As you all know, because you're watching the show, cognitions are thoughts. Cognitive therapy addresses those thoughts, those obsessive thoughts. And then the behavioral piece addresses the compulsive behavior. Okay? And so for those of you who are struggling with this is what I want you to do. Get you a notebook, because the first thing you need to do is start tracking the obsessive thoughts that are supporting the compulsive behavior. What are your thoughts? What horrible things do you think are going to happen if you do not do something in even numbers or odd numbers? Or I really can't use washing your hands for this example, because we are in a pandemic. So something literally bad could happen if you don't wash your hands. But the even numbers and not stepping on cracks and check,
Let's do some more things. Not stepping on cracks. Have to get out and walk around your car before you can drive.
Oh yeah, that's a very common one.
Yes. Before you leave, you have to check every room and every closet before you leave. Come on, help us think of some more
checking
things.
And not just the kind of checking like
Yeah.
when you go to bed and you get
Yeah.
up and you check to be sure you lock the doors. This would be checking repetitively.
Yeah.
To the point where you trying to be in bed at 10, but you still checking and it's like 11 o'clock. It has disrupted your flow.
Yes. Saying the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give them some.
Those are you doing good though, because
Okay.
those are really common things.
Just very common.
And the reason why we say that everybody has a little bit of OCD is I think everybody checks to be sure they've done something. Because I've left the garage door open before, and so I frequently will get to the corner and then back up to the house.
If you had a camera, you could just put it on your phone like I do. Ooh, that's open. Close.
I don't have a camera to show that door.
Yeah.
I'll back up. But it's OCD for those people who then drive to the corner and then they back up again. And then they drive to the corner and then they back up again. And they end up 30, 45 minutes late to where they're trying to go, or they have to leave 45 minutes early to get there on time because they're still checking. Most people who check, which is a tiny bit of OCD, once they check, they're like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
It's over.
And I'm a one-time checker, even during those times where it's like, I know I sat in the driveway and watched that door close, but
Then you start.
maybe that was the last time I left.
Yeah.
That might not have been today.
So then
I
you-
probably need to back up. But then I'm done. Okay, so get you a notebook. Track what negative things you think are going to happen. Because some athletes have OCD and they have rituals, and what their thoughts that they need to track is, I'm going to lose the game if I don't do this.
If I don't do this. If I
And-
don't cut my hair. If I don't take a bath. I mean, it can get.
All these rituals. And they say that baseball players for some reason have more than I
Because
doubt
they
that-
do. That they have more games.
So they have more obsessions and compulsions.
Because they have more games. I think they have like 100-something games in their season. It's a lot of games.
Wow.
Because they do double headers, and they might have like 3 to 6 games in 1 week.
Okay, and they probably call it superstitions.
Yeah.
Because some people, they don't want to call what they're doing OCD, so that, well, I'm superstitious.
I'm superstitious.
Whoa,
I don't
you
believe
have
in. I don't
OCD.
believe in
That's
that.
what you
Yeah.
are. So get you a notebook and start tracking.
Oh, I just thought of another one. I had a woman on my caseload that she had a problem with taking X-Lax because, she had to take a lot of X-Lax. That's why she was on my caseload. She had to take a lot of X-Lax because in her mind, her grandmother died because she was not having enough bowel movements.
Oh.
So she
obsessed over bowel movements. So the
and was
obsessive,
messing her body up, though.
so the OCD, this is a really good example. The obsessive thoughts in her case was, I'm going to die. The compulsive behavior was stocking up on X-Lax and popping them like they was Hershey bars.
Basically.
The chocolate
Tootsie
kind.
Rolls.
Don't be talking about my Tootsies.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Okay. So you coming up with some good examples, D, because our listeners are like, oh, Lord, now she talking about me. Oh, Lord, now she talking about me. Okay. And so in your notebook, write what your thoughts are. I'm going to die. Or I'm going to get cooties if I don't wash my hands over and over and over again, or whatever it is. Track that, because what you wanting to do is identify what your baseline is. Okay. The next thing you're going to track is, this is where really the baseline comes in, is tracking the behavior. Track how much you do that behavior over the course of a 24-hour period. Every time you do it, you need to write in a notebook that you're doing it so that you can know what your average amount of times are over the course of a day. Okay? Now, the cognitive therapy piece, if you were willing to go to therapy, is attacking those thoughts, because those thoughts are distorted cognitions. They are thinking errors. They are not grounded in evidence or in reality.
No evidence, and it's not reality.
And so for every disturbing thought that you have, every obsessive thought, you want to, even if you have to do research, you have to gather information to counter those obsessive thoughts. And so the example with the lady with the X-lax, her obsessive thought was that she was going to die if she, did not have regular bowel movements. What she would need to do is talk to her doctor to find out if she was even having problems with her bowels. Like, are my chitlins working? Just ask your doctor, are my chitlins working?
But she was doing more harm to her body, though.
She was actually increasing the chances
of more problems,
of her chitlins dysfunction.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but that's the gathering evidence piece. If she would have talked to her doctor and her doctor would have said, listen, your chitlins is working fine. You do not need all this X-lax, and you're actually doing more damage. So then when she's at home and the obsessive thoughts surface, she would be able to refer to what the doctor said to remind herself, I do not need to do this. When I was in grad school, what my psychopathology teacher, because we did experiments on ourselves, and so of course I had to do the whole hand washing thing.
Remember the house?
Yes. And what the professor said that my thought needed to be is when I started to stress about touching a public restroom door handle, because that, to this day, that'll freak me out. Like, because I already talked about the people with the crappy hands in their hair and grabbing the handle to exit the bathroom. I can't handle it. And so,
do you have a little hook on your key ring?
No, I just use the paper towel.
Use the paper towel.
I can't use the hook, because then what I'm going to do with the hook? The hook's dirty.
But you have a hook. Oh, the hook on your key ring, it gets dirty. Oh,
I can't handle it, D.
Oh, my God.
No.
You took it to a whole other level, you guys. Okay, got it.
I can't even, when the pandemic started and they didn't give me all these gloves, I couldn't get the gloves off properly, because, nurses know how to remove gloves. I'm standing at the door of the bathroom trying to get the glove off right for like 5 minutes. The paper towel is easy.
Paper, throw in trash.
And what I have noticed is that most public restrooms now, at least the men's restrooms, they have a trash can right there by the door, because I am not the only man who is scared to touch somebody else's crap on that door handle. Now, I have to confess, when I am in a bathroom and they do not have the trash can right there, I'm throwing the paper towel right on the floor. Because otherwise, you have to walk to the trash can. Sometimes I'll try to throw it and get it in the trash can, but I'm not really good at that.
Hold that like that and throw it.
Right, and I'm typically missing. So and those,
we know who wasn't playing basketball in high school.
That would be me. And what I've noticed in those bathrooms, the owners of those restaurants are stupid, because there's usually a pile of paper towels right there on the floor to let them know you might want to put a trash can here, because people are taking craps and doing this, or peeing all over their fingers and walking out and touching that door handle. But what my professor said is, when I would have that thought, when I would approach that public restroom door handle, to say to myself, all the other people who are not worried about this have touched this handle, even though they wash their hands, they have touched that handle, and yes, it might have feces on it. It might have a couple of drops of pee, okay? But they have touched it and they have not dropped dead. Nobody's dropping dead from these germs. In fact, you are going to increase your immune system by touching a little crap and a little pee.
Touch a little crap and a little pee, and you might get back your 1.8 life from COVID, okay?
Okay. And so that would be like identifying thoughts to counter this. For my family member who's not going to watch this show, what he would need to do is remind himself that all these other people in the house are not doing things in even numbers, and they are doing
Just fine.
They doing just fine. In fact, they in better shape than him. Like he has more health problems than okay. And so he would need to think about just rationally, do I have to do things in even numbers because nobody else is and they are fine?
And they are fine.
So
you know what else I just thought about, JP?
what?
Some people don't even know that they have OCD. I'm going to think of a new word. Generational OCD.
Because it's just passed down family lines.
Yes. So
now, what's a good example of that? Because it can be learned behavior. If you had a mother and grandmother who did certain things and they taught you to do it. Because I did make my kids use paper towels to open the public restroom handles. They're not allowed to touch the public.
Right.
Because then they might want to, Dad.
Then now you about to drop dead.
I'm ready to cut the sleeve off my sweater. Like you just put somebody's crap on my sweater.
Let's look at the baby boomers when they was dealing with the Great Depression.
Okay.
And how they would start hoarding things and eating all their food off the plate. Because you're in depression, we cannot waste nothing.
Right. Clean your plate.
Clean your plate, which can easily lead to being obese and being a hoarder.
You're right.
Wow, that was a big one.
You're right. Because in my family, I cannot say any names on this because I will be in so much trouble. But there are some older family members who are hoarders, and their
those baby
son
boomers
and daughter
are hoarders.
They do a little bit of hoarding, and I call it the hoard. And so I'll be like, well, your hoard is getting big and out of control. I had to throw some of your stuff away because out of your
I have a
hoard.
friend who has an obsession with styrofoam cups, and when I go over to his house, I throw them in the trash, and he bars me from the house. But it doesn't matter because I have the code to get in your house.
He wants to save them?
Yeah, that's what he
For
likes.
what?
That's what he likes drinking out of.
Oh, he doesn't trust regular cups because they might not be clean.
I don't know what it is. We can't get to the bottom of it. Like, we can be driving down the street. He's like, I got to go back home and get my cup. I'm like, dude, we ain't going back home and getting no cup.
He doesn't trust that other people's, like in a restaurant, he doesn't trust that they're going to clean the glasses. Because I know people who bring their own silverware to restaurants.
I know people do that also.
And
I just say my blessing.
Well, and I just checked.
I moved everything out the way. Y'all sorry.
I just checked the silverware because sometimes the dishwasher in restaurants will leave a little bit of food on
residue.
That silverware. But it's, to me, I'm not bringing my own silverware to the restaurant. I'm busy washing my hands. I don't have time.
He's busy washing his hands. I'm saying my blessing in Jesus' name. Amen. I done blessed it.
I don't have time to be pulling out silverware. I'm in the bathroom washing my hands.
He can't bring the silverware in and wash his hands, you guys.
It's these, because the thing about the anxiety disorders is they do tend to overlap. If a person has one anxiety disorder, they oftentimes will have another one, because panic disorder, which is panic attacks, will occur if your anxiety over your other anxiety disorder gets too big. And so the gentleman that you just mentioned, if he doesn't get his cup, that puts him at risk of having a panic attack.
Well, guess what? When he ride on me, because I'm not going back in the cup.
What do y'all do?
He have an attitude.
And doesn't drink until he gets back home.
He says he doesn't like, he is OCD because, that's not it. I just remember what it is. He says everything else gets wet on his hands. Wow.
Oh,
the
except
regular
styrofoam.
cups, except for the styrofoam.
He doesn't like
cups.
the condensation.
He don't like the condensation. Yes.
Condensation is annoying, though. It is.
I told him, like, well, guess what? We about to go to Quick Trips, and you can go get you another cup.
And he's right. Styrofoam doesn't sweat. But it destroys the planet.
It sure do. And he doesn't recycle.
What? Well,
No.
you can't even recycle styrofoam. He's destroying the planet because he doesn't want to get used to the sweaty cups. That's not okay.
I bought him a Yeti cup.
What is that?
The Yeti cups.
I don't know what that is.
Something like this, but they're like more expensive. I don't even have one, but I bought him one, to help him.
These are modern day squeeze bottles from back in the 80s.
Basically, yeah.
Does that thing sweat?
No.
It doesn't?
Nope. And it keep everything hot or cold, whatever I put in it.
Does he use it?
I don't know.
He has got to stop using this
and
styrofoam.
He's a KU grad, and I bought him a KU Yeti cup.
D.
Huh?
He has got to stop using all that styrofoam.
And Quick Trip need to stop selling them. How about that? And the Chick-fil-A.
Because they do sell it. Because of people like him.
Because of people like him.
Because I was wondering, why is Quick Trip still selling styrofoam, knowing what it does to the planet, but it doesn't sweat? He can't not handle his hands being wet.
Can't handle the hands being wet. I didn't even take it like that. I thought it was all about him. He had something going on with this cup. Boy, you see how
he don't want his hands wet.
Irons sharpen irons. Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right. So we're going to get to part 2 of this next week.
And what is part 2?
Part 2 is we're going to address the compulsions and how do you eliminate the compulsions, okay? Because that's the behavioral therapy piece. But for those of you listening, this is your homework. Get your notebook if you had this problem.
Get your notebook.
Get your notebook. Start writing all of your obsessive thoughts, okay? And start gathering information to counter those thoughts, information that dismisses those thoughts. Get factual information and also track how much you're doing the compulsive behavior, because next week we're going to work on eliminating the compulsive behavior.
Good deal, JP. Good deal.
All right.
Elimination
Of OCD. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, let's go ahead. We're good for today.
We're good for today. This is good. I had fun, you guys. I miss you guys.
It is good to be back
in the
studio doing the show. You all have watched repeats for the past 2 months. Hopefully they were good.
Wow, I know.
Hopefully they Mr. White, in case y'all didn't hear him, he's like some words. Some of them had technical difficulties. Okay. But thank you for joining us. And remember, worry about nothing
and pray about everything.
Thank you for joining us. God bless.
Bye-bye now.